damn, your voice sounds sexy. You sexy man, you. You're sexy and you got a nice butt.
Yo. This will never be on the radio.
Cagno Radio. Start now.
Episode 44 of Cagno Radio begins now. Joe is here. We're back again, and I want to remind everyone to subscribe or follow along with our podcast. Now, the reason I want you to do that is not for vanity, not because I want to make sure that I get more people. It's strictly because we are going to try to do different podcasts on different days. Now, they'll still have the same people in them, different hosts. Like this week, an example. This past week on Wednesday, we posted a episode with me and Joe. That was about an hour long. And then Saturday night, I posted an episode with Jillian because she had stopped by. She wanted a podcast, so we did a podcast. The thing is, if you're not subscribing and you think, well, they post every Wednesday, you'll miss out on stuff. So subscribe on Google Play or on iTunes, or you can also follow us on SoundCloud. That's the easiest way you'll get a notification that we have a new episode, right?
Right, correct.
So either way, Joe's here today.
Aloha.
It's a good day. And what do you think of the new setup in the basement?
I love the new basement. I'm thinking about moving in down here.
Okay, the reason there's all that stuff at the other end is because we're giving it to some friends. We put a thing
We're
on.
giving it away.
Yeah.
Episode 44. If you are the third caller, you get that Tupperware tub of old markers and crayons.
No, we put on Facebook to some of Wendy's friends that if they, want like little kid dress up toys.
Yeah.
It's funny because she was like, I'm going to put that the dress up clothes are available. I'm like, make sure you put the word children in there or kids.
Oh, I wouldn't. I'd love to. I would put like dress up clothes, nothing about children, and just see who shows up.
Of her friends?
Yeah, just like people
I'm here for the dress up clothes.
Yeah, just people who heard through the grapevine and you have no clue how it got to that point. Like just like Bob Bashara showed up.
What do they call him? Dungeon Bob?
Dungeon Bob.
Yeah, Master Bob.
Yeah.
I'm here for the dress up clothes.
I'm here for the dress up clothes. There's I don't have to sign anything, do I?
Right. I would like my picture not to be taken and posted on Facebook. I'm here for the dress up clothes. But no, I told my wife, I'm like, listen, you need to put somewhere on there. These are, children's dress up clothes. But she found somebody to take them. So I put them all at the other end. And I built this desk that's behind us.
Yes. It looks like out of reclaimed wood from an old shipwreck.
Yep. That's exactly what I did. It cost me $0. Now, I know all the hipsters out there are going to rejoice that I actually joined the team. Built the top out of pallet wood. 7 coats of polyurethane. Polyurethane on top. The bottom is some reclaimed barn wood that a friend of mine gave me, and the legs are from our old dining room table.
Yeah,
which
it's a great looking desk.
Thanks. I'll have to take a picture of it. Maybe I'll post that as the picture for.
Yeah.
Do you notice what's on the desk though? Let's talk about the pictures that I chose because I just put it up yesterday. Grabbed some pictures.
It looks like the Last Supper.
No.
From where I'm sitting, it looks like a picture of the Last Supper.
No, it's me with New Edition, which was the highlight of my radio career. 2004, I met New Edition. I'm the guy in the middle.
Okay.
If you see the picture, you'll understand why that's so funny. Okay. I'm the only white person in the picture.
Got it.
That's kind of my joke. Like even they thought it was funny. I was like, I'll be the guy in the middle, and they all laughed. So they got the joke. And the other pictures of the 1975, which is my favorite band. Just
I've
love
never even
them.
heard of them.
Well, yeah, because you're not a 16-year-old girl. That's who likes.
Okay.
Honestly, I went to their show, Joe. I was standing next to other men who were there.
Joe.
I went to the show, and I was standing next to other men who were there, but they were with their 16-year-old daughters, and I was there because I'm a fan.
You were like, oh my gosh.
Either way, my wife came down yesterday and was like how you have no pictures of the family on any of your desks.
Right.
I'm like, listen, this isn't an office.
I could turn around and see you.
Yeah,
I don't need a picture of you because you're sitting right there.
Right, you're sitting there over my back, just ragging on me,
right.
Just nagging and nagging.
Right, seething.
Yeah, and nagging. Okay, so either way, we're here. We appreciate you listening today. I'm going to throw out a stat that I wondered if you had seen.
Okay.
30 years ago, we met Robin Fab. Milli Vanilli. It's been 30 years since Milli Vanilli.
Has it really?
What do you think of when you think of Robin Fab, Milli Vanilli? What's your first thought?
Dude jumping off a building or something like that, didn't he?
I think that was it.
I think he jumped was his demise.
Yeah, I think they both are dead.
Are they? I thought just the Millie or maybe Vanilli.
Yeah.
I just thought one of them were dead.
Yeah, well, I remember seeing the behind the music, and one of them killed themselves
Yeah.
because they just could not handle the shame.
Right.
But I always think of them doing the high five where they would run and hit hands, but they would be in the air.
Arch.
Yeah, they would arch their back, and their hands would hit almost 3 to 4 feet behind them.
Yes.
So they would like be jumping in behind them.
Now, do you remember there was a time in our life where me and you would try to do this often?
Well, that's why when I said, what do you think of, I actually was leading to this story, not the morbid thought about the guy killing himself.
Okay.
What do you think of? You were like, he's smoking, by the way, in this
An
analogy.
e-cigarette.
I think of him killing himself.
Death and destruction.
Yeah, when
Why?
you think of Milli Vanilli, you don't think of Blame It on the Rain, you think of death?
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Either way,
yeah.
we have tried to do this.
I think of really thick braids,
Yes.
like the long dreads, but they were like the thick braids, and just all that stuff. Yeah, that high five. Blame it on the rain.
What I always thought was
I actually
fun-
have that on my iPod.
I don't
do
hate
like the song.
I like that song. I am still surprised though that I guess it was 30 years ago, so the internet wasn't there that we could all figure out that they weren't really singing. But it is surprising that when you heard those guys speak and they were from Germany and they talk like this. Remember, they had thick accents, and then supposedly when they sang, it would blame it on the rain. Yeah, yeah. Those guys. I mean, it sounded like a 60-year-old black guy singing.
Yeah.
Who it
was a 60-year-old
Yeah, but
black
when you
guy.
saw him, it made total sense. You're like, yep, that guy sounds exactly like what I would think.
Yep. And I love how it all came out. Like, the funny thing is, in today's world, we got the president being accused of like paying a porn star to spank him, and like we have all these huge things. 30 years ago, the big scandal was that Milli Vanilli was on stage and it was like, blame it on the, blame it on the,
Remember?
blame it on the, blame it. And they just kept dancing. and then they just like freaked out and booked it off stage. And that was the biggest thing that year.
Right.
The biggest thing was that these two guys lip sang it.
I don't know what the
lip
past
sanged.
lip sung.
Lip
No,
sung?
that doesn't sound right. Yeah, past tense of lip sank. No, lip.
Because sync is the word. So what's
Lip
past
sync.
tense?
I don't think
of
it's
sync?
really in sync.
Synced. I synced up my computer, so lip synced.
Yeah, they lip synced.
Okay, so the biggest thing back then, that year, was that they lip synced a song. Like,
Over and over.
Yeah, could you imagine today? I mean, like if, whatever star came out and it was like, oh, so-and-so lip synced a song, you'd be like, okay. Like, it wouldn't even make page 3. You know what I mean? It would just be something stupid that popped up on your Facebook feed by Ranker.
Right. It'd be like on BuzzFeed. Here's the
Right.
top 10 people who are lip syncing this year. And you're like, okay, I kind of thought they already were.
Yeah, I thought they were anyway, just so they weren't like in between dance moves.
Right. Yeah,
know?
I mean, but these guys weren't singing at all.
Right.
Do you
yeah.
remember when they tried to come out and say, well, we can sing, we just weren't singing before?
And it just sounded like a German,
Yeah.
like an oompa.
Yeah, it sounded
Like a
really
polka
bad.
band.
But yeah, Milli Vanilli, 30 years since that all came out. I can't say I ever owned at the time the CD or the single. But I definitely have some of their music now. Like, I've been known to listen to it on Spotify or on
Our family
iTunes.
owned it. Like, I don't think I did, but I think my sister had the tape.
And you were like, these guys are the worst. And
I
then
was like,
every
these
time
guys are awesome. Like, when you're a kid and you have an older sister, like, anything she listens to is like, like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, because my older sister like turned me on to it. So like, if she, whatever garbage.
How many years older is she?
3.
Okay, so yeah, same as mine.
2.5, 3 years. But like, anything that she would listen to, like I would listen to, would be like, this is amazing. She'd start listening to like a country, guy, and I think that didn't belong up there. And so,
I put up these things to hold the headphones, and he just ripped it off the wall.
I didn't really. It just kind of fell.
It's no big deal. It's like it's command clear. I mean, it's not really that big of a deal. So go
We'll
ahead.
get MC Hammer in here.
Yeah,
and
he'll put it up. Can't touch this.
But so anyway, like, yeah, your sister like kind of turns you on to stuff. So I think she had the Milli Vanilli tape and got me.
Yeah, see,
listening.
it's funny that you say that you had the wherewithal to admit you liked it, where I was the opposite, where I was like, my sister would have like New Kids on the Block, and I'd be like, they're the lamest crew ever, and then she wouldn't be home, and I'd be like, this one one's for the children.
Right? You doing that dance in your room, holding a hairbrush. Whoa, oh. And then you'd lay down in bed at night and be like, okay, if me and four of my buddies, four buddies, and I'd be the sporty guy, I'd be the sporty one, and Joe, he'd be the bad boy.
He would rap sometimes and wear ripped jeans. But yeah, I was the complete opposite. I was the guy who pretended I didn't like it, but then when no one was around, was like, they are the coolest.
Yeah, I think I've always kind of been like, when it comes to music, I'm just kind of always been like, if it's a good song, it's a good song.
Well, that's the way I am now.
Yeah.
Like, I have a friend of mine who used to work for a record company, and his statement was always the same. I'm a sucker for a good hook. Like, if the chorus is good,
right,
I can look past who it is who sings it and the fact that maybe I'm not into their entire catalog.
Right.
But if you put on a song that's good, I'm like, yeah, it's the kind of the jam.
Yeah.
Like, I still get hype about Who Let the Dogs Out.
All that stuff, yeah.
I am surprised, though, that I didn't catch on until very recently that Who Let the Dogs Out is not about dogs. It's about ugly women at the club.
Oh, really?
Well, think about it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Who Let the Dogs Out? Like, why are there so many ugly chicks here? That's what that song's
and
about.
And they play that at, like, weddings. Think of all the places that they play that.
Yeah.
The party was jumping.
Who let them dogs out? Woof. People are barking.
Yeah, people are like, yeah, they're talking about us. We're all so ugly. I love this place. I love it.
What's a better song, Who Let Them Dogs Out or...
It's not Who Let Them Dogs Out.
I say it that way. Okay, Who Let the Dogs Out or Whoop, There It Is.
I would go with Who Let the Dogs Out. I think it's a more fun, like, dance. Like, you get, like, a little bit more bouncy with
What is the Buster Poindexter song?
Hot, hot, hot.
Yeah. How you feeling?
Hot, hot, hot.
It was like a dude from like South Beach, Miami, but he wasn't like Cuban, who was like, all right, here's the deal.
It wasn't Buster Poindexter from the New York Dolls?
He was?
Yeah. Isn't he the...
Oh, so he was so why was he singing that song?
Because he needed money.
Oh, no, it was always so funny with him. Like, I put him into the same category as, like, Shaggy. Like, do you know Shaggy? Like,
yeah.
Thought I saw her in the shower.
Yeah. It wasn't me.
Yeah. What's funny about Shaggy, he was like a pizza. He was a Pepsi driver. And even though his mother was from Jamaica, he was straight up from here. And if you hear him speak, he talks like you or I. So I remember hearing an interview with him one time, and he was like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. And they were like... And then all of a sudden, in the middle of it, he said, Shaggy, none of my name, my. And you're like, whoa, dude, what happened? Like, you're no better than Snow. You're no better than MC Snow.
No, but he does. He writes good hooks.
Right. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Call me red-handed, creeping on the bathroom floor. It wasn't me. We were both butt naked.
Did you see there's a new movie coming out with the guys from Workaholics?
No.
So the Workaholics are doing a movie. So
Okay.
it's like Adam, is it Divine? Adam.
Yeah, Divine.
Yeah, so that guy,
like that.
he's going to be, like the main dude in it or whatever. But at one point, they like do an interview, and Shaggy's at a party where there's a person with a gun to his head, and the guy's like, "We're gonna kill you unless you sing. It wasn't me." And they flash to him, and he's like, "Hey, I love Shaggy. Shaggy, just do it." And he's singing along. It looks really funny. The movie's coming out, but he's like,
"Oh, I love Workaholics."
But Shaggy's like, "We picture this. We were both buck naked," because he doesn't want to do it, but he's got a gun to his head. But it's pretty funny. So good for Shaggy for being in on the joke.
Yeah.
Workaholics is a great show. It's one of those ones like Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where if you're into it, you love it. If you have never heard of it, you probably will stay never heard of it. Like, I feel like people who love Always Sunny love it.
I've never seen an episode of it.
I've seen probably like 10 episodes. And it's funny. Now, I'm going to get email about this. It's funny, but it's not the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. Where people who love it, though,
yeah,
they go, like, it's like you're an idiot if you don't like it.
See, I like Workaholics.
Are you the same way, though? I mean, is it the funniest show on television?
I don't think it's the funniest, but it's up there. It's a very funny show.
Yeah, it's good.
I mean, I like the classics. Like, for me, like, I like MASH. I like, yeah, I do.
You're like, I like
MASH.
MASH, and I like to eat my dinner at 3 p.m.
Right.
At Bill Knapp's.
That's about it.
Dude, that's like the oldest, like, dude.
I like MASH. I like Seinfeld.
Right.
I like the classic, like, kind of funny shows.
My Mother, the Car, Flying Nun.
Right. Father Knows Best. I do like New Girl. Like, that was...
Is that show just not on anymore?
I don't know because I always watch it on Netflix, so I don't know what channel it was on.
It's on Fox. It's on Fox.
Like I think that show is hysterical.
The ones that I'm into right now are Modern Family. I think is funny.
Yeah, that's always good.
I like New Girl. The one that's new that I think is really funny is the show called Great News or Good News.
Oh, I haven't heard that.
It's on after Will and Grace, the new like the reboot of that, and it's about like a news organization, kind of like a CNN type thing.
Oh, okay.
But it's
fake news.
Yeah, but it's put on by it's produced by Tina Fey. So I like that. So it's good. I mean, as far as watching network TV. Now, I mean,
and the other one we like, Last Man on Earth.
Oh, is the
that
best
show?
Yeah, the best show on TV right
hysterical.
now. So
yeah,
there you go. There's our movie, or there's our TV review.
That's Cal Joe's television show review.
The best part,
every 44 episodes we'll be reviewing.
we don't know what station any of them are on,
Nope.
or what time they're on because you watch them on Netflix or Hulu, and I watch them on DVR.
Yep.
So there you go. Hey, welcome to the new age.
Cagno Radio.
You like that? You like that?
So as I said, we did an episode last week with Jillian. It was just me and Jillian, and then
Jillian Carmichael.
Then I get a text from Joe, and she says, "That story from Jillian." If you didn't hear it, you can go back and hear it in its entirety, but I'll give you the gist of what happened to Jillian. She has a fan that's from Florida. Not a fan of Cal & Company, not a fan of this podcast, a fan of her Instagram pictures, who wondered if he came up here from Florida, could he take her out to dinner? She said yes.
Which right there, first thing is just goofy. Like when she said that, I was like, what? So now continue with.
Okay, so he comes up here. He's missing a tooth.
Of course he is. He's from Florida.
Yeah, he's missing a front tooth. He drove here from Florida in a rental car, but supposedly works for like some investment company. Has a Rolex. I don't know if she said that part on the air or on the podcast, but he's got a Rolex, so he's got some money.
Well, it could be a Japanese Rolex.
Or it could be something he bought like New York City. And
yeah,
like,
they make really good. You can get like a really good knockoff Rolex for like $200.
Really?
Yeah, I've looked into it because I love the Rolex Submariner, but I don't have $80,000.
Is that how much they are?
I think it's about $35,000 for like a Submariner.
So he comes here. They meet up. They go to Ocean Prime, and while she gets up to go to the bathroom, her keys disappear. He then is stuck at her place for 3 days. And she said she didn't get an ounce of sleep or even a moment of sleep because she was scared to death that he was going to slit her throat.
And didn't I hear this correctly? He slept in her bed.
Yes, you heard that correctly.
So I was trying to put this into like my own. So if I write Christina Aguilera and say, hey, I'm a fan of yours. You know, I think of her photos. I'm a fan of your photos, which right there means I'm attracted. Like I like you.
Well, yeah, I like visually am attracted to what you're selling.
And I go to Christina Aguilera's place of living. Let's say L.A.
Well, yeah, but again, she allows you to come to see.
Yeah, I say, hey, can I come and take you out to dinner? I live in Michigan and you live in L.A. Yeah, come on. So I go, and while she gets up to go to the bathroom, her keys disappear. I take them, I swallow them, I do whatever.
Right, we're not sure. We're just saying we're not sure exactly what happened to the keys, but they are gone.
Yeah, at that point, when she's like, my keys aren't here, and I'm like, well, let's Uber back to your house. I'm guessing the next thing is let's Uber back to your house, and then I'll leave. At no point do I think that, like, once I go to meet Christina Aguilera and I drive her back to her house, now I'm sleeping in her bed with her. There's no hanky-panky. No touching.
And for the record, I talked to Jillian off the air about this because I said to her, I'm really concerned about you, and this does sound like the beginning of a Dateline special. It really does.
Yeah.
And also, did you sleep with this guy? She's like, I didn't. So now, no hanky-panky. Continue.
So no hanky-panky. I'm sleeping in the same bed next to Christina Aguilera no hanky-panky going on. And the only reason I'm sleeping next to her in bed is because she couldn't find her car keys. like she had, you know what I mean? Like he still has his keys to get out of there.
Right.
He had to have booked a hotel, something like that in the area, because one wouldn't expect I'm going to California to meet with Christina Aguilera, and then I'm just going to crash at her place and sleep in her bed with her.
Unless you're just thinking very on the half glass, half full kind of side.
But you know what? Let's flip it around. Let's say someone's a huge fan of every third episode of this podcast, and someone's a big fan of me.
You've been on lately a lot, so let's be clear. Every I would say that half of the last 20 you've been on.
Okay.
Maybe last 10.
Okay. And so let's say somebody comes and they're like, Joe, I want to take you out to dinner. And I'm like, all right, cool.
At first you're hesitant, but you do it.
Yeah. And I'm like, you know what? I enjoy my fans. This person seems all right, in communications. Yeah, let's go out. I could use a free meal. I'm guessing they're paying.
Right. Yeah, I would imagine he paid.
So we go to Ocean Prime and suddenly my keys come up missing. And I'm like, oh, crap, we got to Uber back to my house. Once we get back to my house or wherever the meeting spot was, I'm going to be like, whoever this person is, let's just, so it's not so creepy, let's just say it's a female. Let's say it's a girl named Molly.
Yeah.
So Molly would say, oh, well, thank you so much for letting me take you out. I've been a big fan for a while, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to go, okay, see ya. Have fun on your way back home.
Right.
Like, I don't understand why Jillian.
I know.
Yeah, I don't understand why Jillian allowed this toothless man
from Florida,
which everything happens in Florida.
Yeah.
Serial killers, murderers, Dexter. You let this guy in, and then not only that, it's not you could sleep in the guest room.
No,
it's you could sleep in my bed with me. Like at that point,
to me,
I felt like I wish I would have been here. And we could have gotten to the bottom of this.
To be clear, the reason you weren't here was because I don't have 3 microphones and I don't have another $100 to buy another mic. That's it.
I mean, I just being here to just sit and look at her and be like, like whenever she looked at me, like the look on my face would just be like, what are you doing? Like, how do you get to there?
No, I know.
Like if he would have murdered her,
which we hope to God would never happen.
Right.
Yeah.
But if he would have murdered her and the cops trace back, let's just say it comes out that they know every single thing that we know right now.
Right. This
isn't a cautionary tale. This is just like bad decision after bad decision.
Right. Yeah, like I think like I said to her, I think letting him come up here to take you out to dinner was a mistake. I think leaving your keys on the table? Like, that's the other thing. You went to the bathroom.
Has she found her keys since?
No, of course not. She would lose her keys twice a week.
This guy's back home in Florida, just like smelling her keys.
Well, yeah, and she changed all the locks, right? So she changed all the locks since. And this is at her brother's house where she lives.
Oh, Lord.
So, like, her brother must be totally pleased.
Yeah.
That he's like, oh, that's cool. I'm letting you live here. And also, you lost
You're
the keys.
bringing in strays.
Did we delouse them before they came in?
You're letting strays sleep with the biggest thing is the bed.
Yeah.
The bed. Like I could be like, okay, so you went out to dinner with a complete stranger. Okay. And then it goes the next thing. Okay.
Yeah, because you lost your keys, you let him drive you back to your house.
Yeah.
Because again, I think
like,
she met him at Ocean Prime. There was no thought of him going back to her place at all until she had no way to go. And that's what I told her off of the podcast. If you needed a ride from Ocean Prime to your home, you could have called me or I would have got you an Uber or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, the plan B shouldn't have been, okay, stranger who I met online, you can drive me home. Now you know where I live.
Well, plan B shouldn't have been, you drive me back home and sleep in my bed.
For 3 days.
For 3 days. Like, as this thing unfolds, I just, you just want to be like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, young lady.
I know. But that's Jillian,
lady.
though. She's the best because when she showed up to do this podcast with me, I had about 12 ideas of what to talk about. And I go, do you have anything? She goes, well, I went out to dinner with some guy from Florida who I met online. And I was like, let's go. Episode 40. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
But this was an afterthought. Maybe I should tell everybody this story.
Yeah, that's.
But that's her.
That was a story. Like I was like on the edge of my seat. I had it playing through the old Bluetooth and like the speaker in my living room, and I was just like glued to my couch.
So that's on episode 43 if you want to listen to it. Don't stop this one right now to listen to because we got a lot more to come up that we got to talk about. But yeah, listen to that. Jillian was here, and she told us this whole story. I mean, she tells it a little bit more in depth, but Joe pretty much summed it up. Met someone online through Instagram, let him come up from Florida in a rental car. Didn't fly here, drove here. Yeah. How many hours is that, 24?
That's 24 hours to just think.
Nothing but him and his thoughts.
Just thoughts on, once we get to Ocean Prime, I'm snatching her keys.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to ask if I can stay at her house for
Thank
3
God
days.
she didn't get hurt in this whole thing.
Yeah.
But let this be a cautionary tale for any woman out there. Just don't let someone sleep in your bed you don't know.
Yeah, just a guest room. A cot.
Or let him sleep in your bed and then you sleep in the other room.
Or just, how about this? How about you just don't let him sleep over? You just met him from another state. Like, there's either a different part of the story that she's too embarrassed to say, that there's more to it. There's either more to it because on the surface, it's not adding up.
No, I hear you. I don't know if there's more to it. She said there wasn't more to it, and I believe her, only because she has a tendency to overshare on this podcast, so she'll tell you just about anything. But she said to me off the air, what you heard me just say is 100% the truth. But I was like, oh, my God, please don't ever do this again.
Kids, if you're listening, kids and adults alike, I mean, she was lucky to get out of there with only her keys missing.
Right, exactly.
Like, she could have woke up and the tooth that he was missing, the whole plan was to take hers. Like, she wakes up with like a bloody pair of pliers next to the bed and her tooth is missing and he's gone. And then his next photo is he's got a full set of teeth.
Now slap your hands. Now spread those wings. Do-do-do-do. Feather your bangs. Shake your buns. That's nice. Now think about your dad. What's your dad like? I want to meet that dad. Do-do-do-do.